totally council decision after 6 months if the people want a long-term situation that comes back to council for a decision. Anything further? So staff would have the right to, so just so we got this right, so I come along and I say, look, I want to run a bike hire business somewhere around here. Staff look at the effects, if any, of riding bikes around, whether that's dangerous in that situation, as Councillor Crate has pointed out, whether they run over the Ironman or something, having a swim, and it doesn't, so you as staff can then issue a 6-month licence, and if those people, it's a roaring success and they want a long term, it comes back to council. 6 months.
Well, take back to what we do at the moment. What staff can do at the moment is issue a permit for 6 days or up to 40 days. But not many operators actually want that. They don't think it's long enough. So if they wanted up to 6 months, I would have to bring it back to council. This doesn't give staff the delegated authority to issue licences for that 6 months. Still have to come back to council. So we still get the option to turn down months of it. But it doesn't give the option to grant the license.
Okay, well, the suggested resolution on page 8 bar 3. We've jumped around the agenda here a little bit. Suggested resolution 1 and 2 as read. Do we have a mover? Move Councillor Johnson. Seconded Councillor Truman. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you very much, Ms Rawley. Now moving back now to agenda item number 11. I see we've got Mr Fox in the back of the room. Adoption of the revised Waikato Civil Defence Emergency Management Group Constitution. Mr Fox.
Mr Chairman, this is purely an administrative matter. The Constitution has provisions
Well, it looks like it's a fairly mechanical thing. Is this a result of when that peer review was done about a year ago? And we actually got quite a glowing report, but a lot of others in our area didn't.
there were a number of actions out of that report. I think the Constitution was a factor that came up at the time, which we would need to look at again. So that's one of the outcomes of it. Probably with the new second generation plan of the group, management, was always done in New Zealand. You're right, we came out of that very well at the time. There's also a resource review being done as a group right now, ourselves and another 10 councils.
Well, as chair of the meeting, Councillor Downer, do you wish to add anything to this?
No, there wasn't too many great changes in the Constitution. I think there was a bit of debate over the declaration of calling a declaration in the district from the mayor and then a deputy mayor and who else was, but apart from that, it's pretty well much generic.
Anybody have any questions they want answered on civil defence emergency rejigging or reconstituting? Well, if there's nothing, I will ask for a mover, which is on page 11 bar 1 of the suggested resolution. And move Councillor Downer, seconded Councillor Minsher. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you, Mr Fox. Short and sweet. Okay, well this morning we had 2 workshops. The second workshop this morning was we have to every 3 years review the gaming policy of the entire district. Has to be done every 3 years, a bit like a warrant of fitness on a car. In the workshop this morning, Ms Gilbert presented the pros and cons and what would happen if we wanted to review it, which would be quite a consultative process. And I think I take it from you fellow councillors this morning that we were going to be looking at the status quo. However, I will open it up and ask you first. Helen, do you wish to comment at all?
No, just note that we did look at the location of venues, the volume of venues. The district has consistently had fewer gaming machines than the current cap allows, that we've had overall declining expenditure on gaming, and that we're not aware of any
I speak for all of our councillors here. I mean, none of us are very keen on the effects of gambling and the downside it has on our community or certain members of our community. However, it's a fact of life, and to change it is quite a long and extrapolated process. It takes a lot of energy and expenses. So there is a suggested resolution here that we stay with the status quo. It appears to me that that's what the thoughts were from the council this morning. So if there's no further questions of Ms Gilbert or comments to make, I would ask that somebody moves and seconded the number 1 reconfirms its current, is that what we're doing? Yeah. Reconfirms its current, the Class 4 gaming and TAB venue policy as it stands. Councillor Craik, seconded Councillor Johnson. All those in favour?
Aye.
Move. Thank you, Ms Gilbert. Another job we've had to do. Moving now to agenda item number 13. Performance report. Ms Gilbert.
This report updates council each month on some of the major projects that are going under, that are taking place at the moment. These are projects that you funded through your annual plan process. We use a traffic light system for alerting you to any issues. We use green for it's great, and red for we've got a problem, and orange for there's been some slippage, but we can fix it. You'll note from this report, we're very early obviously in the financial year, but you'll note from this report that all the big projects that we have listed there are showing green, they're all on track, and there are no major issues arising from any of these projects at the moment.
And I'll open the floor up for any questions or anything. Anybody wants to have more information about these, as you say, these other projects we're working on at the moment. I must say, just from the chair's point of view and a little bit of that I've heard around town, especially to you, Mr Green, the Huhu Street upgrade has been commended by a lot of people, especially the original plans you've put out, and also commended as to the consultation process that you have embarked upon, where everybody's getting their say and their look at it and their opinions heard. I do know. Anybody else want to comment on anything? These are the projects that are going on at the moment. If you need to know anything about them, the AC barbs, anything like that, these are what the public are seeing is happening, so you need to know as much as you can about them.
Helen, the projects where there's no milestone due this year, have you got milestones for any of those, or are they just still to be advised?
The 3 projects that I'm got down as the leader on the second page of that, is that
Yeah, and also the representation review, which is on the first page.
right? Yes, it might be better if Mrs. Jake speaks to the timing of milestones for the representation review, and I can alert you about the other 3.
So just in terms of the representation review, the first milestone will be our council workshop meeting next year.
Oh, yeah.
And then the process will start from there.
Okay, and then to come to the 3 projects at the end there, to take the Turangi and Southern Lakeshore Settlement Structure Plan project at the meeting before the last one, so I'm just going to get back to it October, July, no, August. Council agreed to have the inception report for that structure plan revised, and that process is underway at the moment. And our goal is to bring a new inception report, a revised inception report to you for the November meeting, which basically narrows down some of the scope of the original proposal in line with some of the thinking we've been doing about that you haven't had quite so much growth and you're not predicting such extensive growth in the southern part of the district, then we can reframe. So that's what's going on with that. But in terms of milestones, the next big piece of work we would expect to be coming to you in calendar 2012. The Lake Taupo erosion and flood plan, there's a bunch of work just starting at the kind of the officer level at the moment, and some conversations with Whakaaro Regional Council, and we'll come back to council next year about that. And the hazard plan is
Gilbert, going back to this Lake Taupo erosion and flood plan. Now, having some carryover from the last triennium, I thought we were in a stage at the moment where we were doing a lot of monitoring work, and that monitoring work, which we put more funding into, surely there should be some milestones in there that we'll be getting reports back at different times or something about this Taupo erosion flood plan. I don't like seeing nothing in there. It's just like we've done so much work on that and it's got a blank hole. I just need to know more about this.
All right, what I can make available to council is copies of all of the technical reports on the different flood areas. We've had those reports through from OFIS. They were actually contracted through Waikato Regional Council. And we've
Yeah,
got
but under Project Watershed, which we paid 55% of.
we didn't need make a substantial contribution to. I think I'm still waiting on one more. I had intended to collect them as a bundle because we wanted to kind of read them across each other and look at what's consistent, what's different. But I can certainly make copies of all of those available to you, and I can make sure that I do report to you next month on what's going on with you.
I know it's been reasonably quiet lately, but I don't think the problem's gone away.
Just to be really clear though, this that project is about the district plan change to put the flooding areas into the district plan. So it's not about the erosion plan or the erosion strategy that you adopted. That's been adopted. It's been done. You're right. There is monitoring that in other actions. A whole lot of actions.
The
there,
monitoring I'm talking about, when do we start getting results of that monitoring?
We can feed that back to you. The first results I think come out for the erosion stuff come out in the next couple of months off the top of my head. But this is very much around the flood and erosion part of the district plan change. So take erosion out of it. It's more about putting those flood lines into your district plan maps.
That's the one we attempted to do a couple of years ago.
No, we haven't attempted this one. This is a brand new project.
And
What about when we had this flood plan and we had Manuel's underwater and we had...
That was in the draft strategy. It had indicative lines, but then this project, so that said, these areas are going to need some more work, and this project here is about refining those lines, showing the actual contours and working some rules around it.
actually, historically, we're heading into the weather bomb season, aren't they? So it'd be really good, aren't we? So it would be really good if we could be briefed, you know, in the next one of the next two council meetings, just so that we know if anything happens in January or February.
Just need a little bit of something comfort because we do get a lot of flack over this flood and erosion and, you know, and so anything further from anybody, especially that flood and erosion down the southern end of the lake, I might add. So, yeah. All right. Anything further you'd like to add, Ms. Gilbert?
No, you just may wish to note the suggested resolution on page 13.
That council receives the progress report on key projects. A mover. Councillor Williams. Seconded, Councillor Mincher. All those in favour?
Aye.
Moving now to agenda item number